Hello and welcome to Tumbleweed. We're doing more testing games. Team 1 ANS, Team 2 OSP, Team 1 Puppy Beef, Chibi, Dosh, Team 2 Rom, Bluebot, Heaven Base, who is Herman, and Scalord. Here on Tumbleweed, which is an absolutely fantastic map. Oh, I love this map. Glad we're back. Glad we're going to war. Glad
Good
we're
thing Pyro's not here.
glad we're blowing things up. Looks like both teams spread out quite a bit. On top and bottom, no hard pushes. Obvious in the deployment screen, anyways.
The beams come.
Dropping down here with the OSP team. Looks like a traditional Plasma 100 obelisk ship out of Herman. TD1s, T30s, simple as. Two of them spread across the map, one upper, one lower. It's also got a pair of gun shuttles for capping and an EWR. Rom's got two more Obelisk 100 ships. In fact, I think he has the exact same fleet Herman does. Yeah, he does. The ships are named the same thing. These were just immediately shared, apparently.
There is a slight difference I'll point out. Rom has a Bloodhound tug
Instead
his
of the
final versus
EOWR,
a early
yeah.
warning for Herman.
Yep. Scalard, bring the same build as last time. Broadside Plasma with T20 cannons. And all-rounder monitors with 250 guns on the nose and T30s on the sides. There's just a lot of meat and muscle out of the OSP. Bluebot here with a bunch of gun tugs scattered all over the map. No jamming. That's gonna hurt. Bloodhound LRT tug, a couple of rocket ships, and one plasma monitor. So in the deployment screen, in fact, I think it was before we even got to the deployment screen. It was like right after we broke off into teams. We were talking about fleet comps. I gambled that Puppy and Beef would be both bringing beam battleships. It looks like that is the case, as has been spotted by our lovely, wow, 10 spectators-ish, maybe more. Beef's got his traditional beam battleship with two Defender Sprinter escorts and one naked Cappy boy. This is an old build. It's really cool to see him bring those. Chibi's got a pair of 450 Axfords with Defenders, Bullseye, and it's probably track correlated spyglasses. Oh, and he's got some Star Wars ship names. He had Monitor and the Devastator. I didn't notice that last time these came out.
I will point out, no track correlated spyglass, and those are running sidearm Mark 62s.
Oh, okay. Might be bringing some frontline 450 Axfords. Have the A&S players listen to feedback. Oh my god, what a world.
Puppy has 4 FPAs, while Beef only has 2, it looks like.
And DOS has a good, well-rounded cat fleet. With just a bunch of torp and gun corvs, a couple of PD spotting corvs, and then 2 spy frigs. Alright,
One of
both
those
teams
Corvettes
have...
getting lit up right now for its troubles.
Oh my. Lovely purple color. Absolutely obliterated down here on the Echo Point. ANS managed to cap... both teams managed to cap their naturals. ANS making plays for Echo and for Delta. Loses the Sprinter on Delta, and I think he's going to lose the Sprinter on Echo here before too long.
Yep.
Making a move for
Alpha.
Alpha.
Going towards the ANS side as Wake size 1s are starting to take out a shuttle here.
Unlimited power.
Chat won't save you now.
Fucking deranged maniac. What if we simply ignored Chaff by using Wake instead?
Trying to go for the A cap, and once again, Grape Shot going to shut down that advance.
Yeah, I think Andy's being a little too aggressive with those sprinters. Really got to support him with the beams, wait for the beams to get up to cover the points, and then cap. Ah. Good catch from Dramus. You know, it's really
First beam of
funny
the
in
game.
the Halo mod games that we've been playing, people bring flares there because those ships have so many external mounts that it's trivial to put.
Look at the deep point. Beams
Oh
now
my
managing to
God.
catch up. Just barely couldn't have the rotation to catch that shuttle. Drifts away from points now.
Manages to get to cover. Unfortunately, it gets to cover into range from a sprinter, which is going to RPF and S3H it. And Beam Battleship might leap onto Delta and cap it. Could. There's not plasma in range. Oh, there is plasma in range. Yeah, Rom's over here. I guess there's going to be plasma in range of every point with how much plasma there is on this team. Both teams really looking to brawl hard.
I believe this is the most aggressive early game I've ever seen. Nobody has capped anything outside the natural.
Yeah,
Neutral
they're
points were
both
tried and
fighting
failed.
hard.
Close
I
quarters
love
combat
it.
on Tumbleweed today.
I'm
Clement
very happy with the switch from all the oops all backline matches.
Say that Chibi presenting broadside Axfords trying to clean up one of the monitors in the... Whose fleet is this? Scallards.
Yeah, Scallard getting caught
covered.
out just a little bit. Has good cover on the Echo and from the ANS spawn, but the Chibi's Axfords have flanked around the outside and have caught one of the slower monitors. Ah, yes. Well, it's funny because a lot of the other maps like are really, in fact, most maps, excepting like Nyx's Eye and Canyon, are really good for brawling ships. There's nobody wants to get shot at, so they just refuse to do this.
Down to the A point, Puppy trying to push off one of the bulk freighters here, eating some plasma for the trouble as it's burning away at best speed, trying to get out of that beam range.
Another sprinter goes on to Delta. Another sprinter dies. Third sprinter coming up, gonna maybe be able to secure it if it can get inside the ball.
It's locked.
It's locked. It's not quite inside the ball either.
Its first shot.
How many auxiliary steerings you got on this, Chief? Not any. I did say it was an old build.
Oh!
And there it goes. Not able to secure that Delta point. 3 sprinters on the D point. All of them gone. Puppy's up on Echo. Well, he's not quite up on Echo. He's hiding in a little corner. Tumbleweed also trying to get over here, eating a little bit of fire. Nothing's able to control the Alpha point. A retreated tug? Hold on, wait a minute. Oh, shit! Yeah, Rob's LRT went off the map. I tried to... Uh-oh, is my UI broken? Okay, no. I tried to zoom to it, and the game's just like, alright, here's the empty space. Enjoy. B starting to take some fire in the flank from the Scalor's 100mm and Plasma bulk fridge. Looks like Hunter's here supporting as well. God damn it, why are their names the same? Herman's here with his Obelisk plasma ship. That's going to start adding up really fast. Port side taking some plasma fire. Port forward and port amidships. Both eating a little bit of plasma. Nothing in the engine section. And nothing up towards the bridge.
Bumper bulks saving beef from the best of the plasma right now, but that is a well-stripped left side on that battleship.
And Scallard having a little bit of trouble getting an angle. I think he's flying these in formation. It's a bit of a newer player and doesn't control his vessels super great, so is having to struggle a bit with the formation flying, but that's okay. I'll figure it out.
Well, at least the BB lives.
Indeed, Chibi flanking around the outside of the map with 450 Axfords. Gonna try to get an angle on the plasma ships that are pushing beef right now. Let's turn these on. Oh yeah, that's much better.
Rocket strike out for B point, and it is good.
Echo cleared once again. Puppy tried to cap that, but OSP has managed to get one tug on the point, and they might be able to keep it alive for long enough. It is eating 450 HE in the vase. Orb dodging bit, trying to keep out of range. OSP going for Alpha again, too. Looks like Das and Beef have lost their assets on the lower side of the map. Lower side of the map is pretty clear, except for one very large beam delivery device. Of course, that beam delivery device is eating plasma in the phase. It is pretty hard to use the rangefinders here on this map since you can't see them through the rocks, but it does look like Puppy's about 6 kilometers from the Alpha point, and that is out of range of capital beams. He could push the point and try to start beaming shit, but that's way too risky. And I think Puppy understands. Yeah, he's leading. He's leading. He's giving up the cap. He's got 2 whips, a dragon, and a raider. Big whip and a little whip. Big dragon, a little raider. Where is all the electricity for the ship coming from? He's got 4 FPAs in here apparently. Mount gyros, small reactors all over the hull. 2 plant control centers. This is an extremely fragile battleship.
3.
But
3 plant controls and 2 small reactor boosters.
And it still can't use its auroras at the same time as its beams at full strength, I'm sure.
oh, absolutely. But man, if anything gets in range of this, it's done. It's
All right,
very
the
done.
beams are running
does
for
have
it.
that A point here with the naked shuttle getting beamed forward. It's trouble. Maybe it wasn't naked, but it certainly is now.
Yeah, well, BBB is heading to A.
Yeah, both Beef and Puppy are descending on this point as a team now. That's gonna split the plasma fire up enough that they should be able to beam it, but Beef's still gonna take a lot of plasma first trouble. Although he has rotated his starboard side towards the plasma ship, so getting presenting some fresh meat. I'm pretty sure this bulk freighter is gonna die horribly, or get under this rock, rotate around, and then die horribly later. Beam battleships on this map have a tendency to do that. OSP has pretty strong control on top of the map thanks to Hunter and Scalord and Rom all being up here.
Oh no, Chibi's finally beginning to eat it.
As Chibi is now coming around the corner and has a nice angle against the bulk freighters and the monitors, who have no cover now all of a sudden.
Yeah, but Herman's Bulker is, since it's turreted, able to flip around very quickly. It can just change its turret's direction. Scallard's going to have a little bit of trouble with getting these bulk freighter. Oh no, these are already starting to face Chibi. He was getting ready to go. Chibi might be in trouble here before too long. Scallard's going to lose one of the monitors. We're just going to all say for his trouble like 7 times this game for whatever reason. I don't know why. That's word of the day, or phrase of the day.
Or trouble.
Thank you, Fine.
Alright, I wish I had a rangefinder on this.
Enemy is securing zone eclipse.
What are you looking for? I've gotten pretty good at using this.
When they're in plasma range, because the plasma range was reduced, they aren't in it yet.
Yeah, 7,200. They're about a kilometer outside of plasma range. Chibi's ships to Scalords.
OSB making a play for E point, and since the battleships have gone down to A, there's not much contesting this right now, just some situational awareness, and that's it. E point gonna go into OSP's hands here. They're also making a play for the D point, while the distraction of those flanking Axfords got all the ships off the points.
Yeah, Beef looking like he is going to be able to capture Delta point and keep things even. ANS also capturing Alpha. Beef sitting on the point with his big old beam battleship. This thing is extremely vulnerable in its position, but it's also going to murder anything in range. So it's a nice little mutually assured destruction setup down on Alpha, especially with Puppy in support. Man, 2 beam battleships for 1 point. That is quite the investment.
Oh
It's
man,
very powerful.
Scholard has basically lost most of the function on one of the LNs before it got into range.
450 HE, good.
Plasma going out against Beef's battleship, but it has eyes on this bulk freighter and it is hungry.
Here we go. Beam right into the midsection. Beef battle shorting his beams. Starting to burn out, getting a little yellowed. How's the bulk freighter doing? It's doing fine, unfortunately. Looks like a lot of that damage is going into the structure hitbox. I think some of the nose damage isn't going into anything, in fact.
Nose is some of it just
and-
flat out missing there.
Yeah, Beef now has
Does
some
knock out the
orange and yellow
magazine,
turrets.
disarming that bulk freighter for a moment.
That's pretty big. Yellen is spring colored, but not disabled by any means.
Securing zone dagger.
Chibi doing very good job keeping range at this case. One of the
Scallard's-
plasma bulkers getting pretty knocked out here.
The bulk freighters are starting to back up.
They've given up on aiming at that.
They're leaving. And it looks like they're going to try to control Echo instead. The 450 HE just too much. Morale killing Scallard. Here he's dipping down into cover. And one of his bulk freighters, this thing is not going to be able to get back on its feet.
No. They actually do not have radar track on Chibi's Axfords there for a bit. The
Oh,
Huntress
what the
stored
fuck?
inside of the sort of escort little T-30 and C-56 monitor, just not in arc, so they weren't able to fire on.
That is pretty good at that. Looks like that's trying to get a cap on Charlie, but those bulk freighters might be forced to retreat directly onto that Charlie point. Of course, on the flip side, Chibi is coming around and should be able to cover any attempt to cap the point.
The
Fire on
does
Blue Bucks
flips from
tugs.
Herman going on and capping, clearing out the little small... Oh, that'd be what, the 4th now Corvette? Oh my god, this is a Corvette graveyard. There's 5 of them here.
Yeah. And this is the Sprinter dockyard. So this is where they come to die.
B point contested. There's a mostly intact Corvette going off against a pretty cored out looking tug, but some more reinforcing ships coming to play against that. Another multi-mission tug trying to get some shots in.
Looks like Beef's setting up to stay on Alpha and keep control of the point while Puppy's moving up top to engage some of the bulk freighters. Herman is moving off the Delta point and might be heading down to Alpha, might be heading all the way into Bravo. But either way, I think he's going to wind up running into a beam battleship. Yeah, it'd be
And
very
Doss is
sad.
about to take C.
Yes, indeed. The 450 cover from Chibi is helping a great deal. He's able to zone all the supporting OSP ships away from the point, and this crappy little Cap Corv can just hop on the OSP natural more or less unchallenged. Beef still hunting for Rom's bulker. No, this is Herman's bulker. I think he's gonna back into it.
The enemy is
But the angle here is really bad for the beam battleship.
Puppy here is gonna start getting cooked from that broadside plasma.
The enemy is securing zone Comet.
Yeah, he is about.
Manages to
Where
get
is
into cover
this?
briefly here as he just glides into the little armpit crevice.
There he is. Yeah, he's about 7 kilometers away from that. That's can't really challenge that with the beams. Pew pew laser, not very good far away. However, he is going to be able to pounce onto one of Scalord's healthy bulk freighters. Only his rear and bottom turret can fire, but they are pre-aimed. You know,
The beams on the bottom side of the map. Cooking
Scholar's
the
running.
Herman's bulker.
Puppy struggles sometimes with
Take a
other
look at that
fleets.
lovely beam tac map visual.
But holy shit, the man can play beams.
Scholar did it. They'll live. for
Yeah, he
now.
managed to get out of range, but is getting zoned away from Echo, and Puppy might be able to hop onto that point and cap it, especially with the 450 Axfords on the upper middle side of OSP spawn, keeping cover on that point and preventing the bulk freighters from moving up. In fact, the Amethyst has been killed by pure 450. That thing is dead. It's a fully grayed vessel.
Obsidian now starting to take some of that 450 fire from the Axford pair, who took a long way around and are just starting to rack up a lot of value here.
And need more 450 AHE into these, especially these fatter bulk freighters tend to suffer a lot from the 450 AHE just because their hull design don't have as much, unlike the thinner ones.
Puppy almost onto the E point here, going to put that into a 4-cap advantage for OS or ANS.
Yeah, they're
OSP
down
just kind of struggling here.
80 points, but having a cap advantage, especially 4-cap advantage, is going to be really good. OSP's also lost a lot of their combat assets. That's 2 bulk freighters, a third which is in the process of dying. Although it is going to get cover and survive for a little bit longer. Blue Bot's lost basically his entire cap fleet. Pure Gun's not done really. It doesn't cut it. We've been over this more than a few times tonight.
Really, this all turned around after Chibi's flank, like, really uprooted them. It practically took out a whole fleet on his own.
Yeah. Yes.
Forcing OSP to reposition when there's beam battleships ready to jump on you is a scary thing. Especially when you don't have the situational awareness to know what rock they could be hiding under.
Yeah, being driven into... I mean, that's a classic hammer and anvil strategy. Beams set up, the Axfords flank around, and put out enough 450 fire to force the bulk freighters to either die on beams or sit somewhere kind of bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know what the players are yelling about.
Our bulkers find a little
that's
missile roof
unfortunate.
asset here.
Very silly. Good catch out of Fritz.
Basically, Rom needs to kill a BB, but I don't see how they're even in position to.
No, I think OSP's kind of Dunsky here.
Beam battleships just kind of wandering the map now, picking off anything that gets into their range.
Oh no. The obelisk is going to move right into Chibi's line of fire. Ah, it's retreat.
Taking a look around the battlefield, so many points are ship graveyards at this stage. OSP can make a play back. They're starting to move towards the A point, trying to cap that, but in terms of frontline, it's just going to be trying to play hide and seek from these beam battleships, because I don't think they have enough stuff left on their team to really kill one, let alone two.
Yeah, and with both the bulk freighters going for Bravo, Puppy and Beef are both coming up to pincer them. I'm pretty sure getting pincered between 2 beam battleships is instant death.
You should zoom out.
Just in range of Herman's bulk freighter here as he's clearing this corner.
Like, OSP is currently the most split up I've ever seen a team with this much firepower left, ever. They're everywhere on the map. There's like no 2 ships of theirs are close.
Yeah, the cavalry charge from Chibi did that, because they had the really strong group on top of the map, but Chibi flew around the flank and caused them to be forced to go elsewhere. And then they ran into the beam battleships, and the beam battleships also forced them to go even more elsewhere or die. And a few things died for it, and the whole team wound up split into teeny tiny itty bitty teeny weeny pieces. The most concentrated force is 2 bulk freighters, 2 plasma, 100 bulk freighters nearish each other. About 2 kilometers
Plasma
out.
Trying to do some work into Puppy here. Couple plasma shots raining in. Not a lot of damage suffered on that battleship, though. Nothing that couldn't be repaired anyways.
It's pretty fresh. On starboard quarter and above, too. The top is very fresh. And top's actually a good place for the beam battleship to be getting hit by Plasma 100, just because it's such a thin profile that a lot of the plasma is actually going to miss unless you have a lock. Of course, they do have a lock. And generally, your engagements aren't on the top.
You say that as it's drilled into and is rapidly dying.
Well, yeah, you don't want to take Plasma 100 on the top for very long, but it is a good, like, short-term location to be plasmid. Just because you can spread out the damage. Bubby now rotating around to the port side.
Losing a beam turret for his trouble. Now getting actually pinch third here as all 3 bulk freighters are coming around to fire on that battleship.
Beam
OSP with the surprise flank now.
Beam
Plasma
BB
not in
pincer
arc
gets
quite
turned
yet.
into an anti-pincer, or the pincerers become the pincer-ees.
Battleships that were confident to hunt now getting the reversal played on them as we see all this 100 mil flying in. Most of it not penning, just bouncing off here. So enough areas have been stripped with plasma that you'll start to add that damage up.
Yeah, that's a big problem for ANS because these 2 beam battleships are the main reason why they're able to control the cap points in the way that they do. The 450 Axfords are running around and shooting things and causing them to go to ground inside the Tumbleweed. And the beam battleships exert pressure inside the Tumbleweed. But if you lose one of those battleships, you lose one of your angles of pressure, and that's probably going to lose Bravo and Echo to OSP.
Yeah. Herman's now using that momentum to take B, and nothing else there can contest it. So, basically, Chibi has to save them again.
Beef's moving back onto Alpha to cap the point, because it was lost to one of the few
Shuttles, I
surviving
believe it
shuttles, which of course
Still,
immediately got
OSP
beamed.
doing good work trying to kite what's effectively, let's call that 2,500 points of battleship, using their cheap assets, making them have to play and sit on the points, and then allowing themselves to choose engagements like we see here against Puppy's beam battleship.
The enemy is securing Zone Atlas.
Finally, Scalar with the Obsidian getting the broadside onto the battleship that they want. Plasma starting to rain all across its top side here.
Chibi has locked Rom's plasma bulk freighter and is firing 450 HE into it, and we know what happens with these. I don't think Chibi's on radar either. No, he's not.
Rom's triple threat here. Yeah, that's 450 coming at it and no cover nearby. That is going to be a very bad time had those T-30s get knocked out incredibly quickly by 450. Just in case of play and then counterplay and then counterplay to the counterplay going up here.
Oh, yes.
And it's resecuring their 4 cap for the moment as B will cap out the 8 point and nothing will be able to dislodge that battleship.
However, Herman is recapturing a OSP's natural, or will be here very shortly. But ANS is 100 points
I'm pretty
ahead.
sure D-point is ANS's natural. Yeah, they've done a full 180 rotate. C point, yep, gonna have a tug on it, and then Herman actually capturing both naturals here in a second, cleaning up some of the small ships around the map.
Rom's plasma bulk freighter slowly dying, well, quickly dying, to the 450 HE, and the broadside not able to fire back at all. Those ships are not on radar.
Nope.
So
Said
this
it
is
might be able to
backline
get
done
in
right.
arc and do a little damage to Puppy's battleship before it goes down.
The enemy is securing
This is
I
why 2 backline fleets is kind of bad, but 1 backline fleet is really good, because if you can just sit back and shell things, it's actually really strong. But if you don't have the front line, then you can't do the sit back part because you just get pushed and die.
I think Chibi has taken actually 0 damage, except from flanking.
He hasn't even been detected for most of the game. He's detected now. But he's been out of range. It's pretty
In this
good.
case, we see ANS coming in with a cap fleet, 2 frontline fleets, and then their 4th kind of flex pick being this sort of long-range support bombardment, just contributing to a lot of fights and causing a bad circumstance that OSP has to then react to.
That's the build, baby.
Taking a look at Puppy here, actually starting to suffer here as we see the damage control board lit up like a Christmas tree. Plasma has stripped off a good chunk of this battleship's armor, and the 100 mil that is left is pecking into it, but primarily plasma broadside. It's not T-30, so you don't quite have the volume of fire you need to kill this battleship as it just kind of limps into cover and tries to, well, get itself back together.
Yeah, he's only got 1 restore, though. That's going to be a big problem because he's got 2 control centers out and 1 small reactor out. Or small reactor booster? Okay, yeah. And a whiplash out, so that's a lot of power generation down, which means these beams are not going to be anywhere near as effective as they could be. A lot of alive, unpowered FPAs, though, so that'll be nice for tanking. Bombs, bulk freighter, this thing is just fucking dead. It's got restores.
It's alive on a technicality, and that's it.
Well, it's got a lot of
Still 6
restores.
restores left, so it can bring some things back online, but
It's never going to be a true threat again. Another bulk freighter's in good health. The other bulk freighter's in good health. Scalard's bulk freighter is not horribly ruined, but it is having some issues as well. What's Chibi firing at now? Chibi's kind of the MVP of this match. Right now, looks like he's gunning down a monitor. He's controlling the Bravo cap. OSP trying to get something done on Delta, maybe also trying to get something done on Echo. Oh, right now this is the dead ship. Puppy's
he's
got
just burning towards B point, going after Herman's other bulk freighter here, who's giving all the shots it can, but Battleship just saying, I don't care, I can survive, and you can't when I get in 5 kilometers.
Yeah, Beef pretty plasma'd up, though. He has lost one of his beam turrets. Again, he has a ton of restores.
15!
Oh, yeah. I
15
told you, it was an
restores,
old
24
build.
damage control teams.
God, how many birthings do you have for that even? Jeez.
You only need 1.
I count 2, actually, here.
Wait.
Yeah.
2?
Yeah?
1 in the nose and 1 up top.
Pretty sure it's still
Yeah.
running under crude, though.
That said, it is losing its beam turrets here, the very large hitbox of them kind of being a problem. So those will be brought back up line in a moment, so as long as he's able to kind of keep himself moving here and just zone out Herman, he can probably just move to the B point and sit on that for the rest of the game.
Also, OSP does need to 4-cap at this stage, to be clear here.
Yeah, they're
That's true.
150 points down, and they've got a cap deficit as well, 2 to 3. Herman's going down to Alpha with his EWR tug, and it doesn't look like there's anything to contest that. Puppy might be able to get in a range and beam it, but I think he's focusing on the top of the map to control Echo and Delta and support Chibi. It's going to be a little out of range of that Alpha point. Yeah, Scalard's moving to grab Echo, but that is well within beam zone of control. Yeah, that's only 2.5 kilometers away.
2 beam battleships in range, ready to push that if need be.
Yeah, well, Puppy just
think
needs
Puppy
to
counting on
unmask and obliterate that ship. He's super close. In fact, he's actually unmasking a little early. I don't think anybody knows
Not
this
have
here.
the
Yeah,
beams
they don't.
in their correct arc, so this will take a second to rotate.
Beef continuing to get shot and get his beam turrets restored and then shot out immediately. He is tanking effectively. Now on, even with some of these plasma bits and bobs, there are being a few deflections and some misses. With a lock, OSP now securing Echo. I don't think that's going to last very long.
So Herman pushed out of cover, and once again, Chibi with a cavalry charge around the flank and 450 flying.
Puppy doesn't have any radar. Okay, he's got a track on Scalard now, but it keeps dropping off for just a second. Yeah, he's got really bad radar sections.
He has
All right,
not
beam
enough
is
power
out.
to run the parallax on him, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
BDPs
no,
do rely
Parallax
on
takes
a
really high
spyglass somewhere.
priority.
It's like top of the list, if I remember right, 3,600. What's it, megawatts or kilowatts? Whatever. A lot of
It's
power either
kilowatts.
way as he's trying to get into arc now.
But it's the panels that are the problem. It's not the Parallax. Look at that starboard side. Both top panels are gone.
Well, at this stage, the beam turrets are running out.
Yeah, beam turrets are getting shot off too.
Zone boxer.
Bottom's
Does get a
trying to
belly
get some
beam
done.
onto it for a brief bit. And it's dealing absolutely no damage as it just hits hull, empty space, and out the other side. Now this one hitting center mass.
Zone Atlas.
And
Looking through
spreading the
some of the
command
compartments.
stack. Okay, it's structure broken. This thing's going to die incredibly fast now.
Yeah, but will the beam die first?
Well, if it goes down to the pontoon hitbox, or the whatever this thing is, I don't even know what you call that. The blimp belly. Oh, listen to that beam sound effect. Listen.
Beam knocking out the civilian reactor there. Drive still online, technically.
Enemy secured zone
Come on, puppy, fire it again.
We are contesting
Nah, it's
zone
down.
Eclipse.
Does manage to get into the echo point and contest it before OSP can cap it. That's good. That's really important because OSP is coming back in a big way with the caps. They've got Bravo, although that is being... Beef is grabbing that. I think he might be drifting outside of the point, though. Okay, he's throwing on the brakes. Gonna make sure not to drift too far outside the point. They lose the alpha point. All they've got left is Echo. And they might be getting Bravo here shortly, but it's gonna take a little bit.
Rom
ANS, 900 points.
back with one of the bulk freighters still alive.
Only 100 out from victory, but they do also currently only have 1 point. They might be able to secure a second. But even if they secure that second, they're not going to hold two for long. I believe this beam battleship is going to go nuclear here in a moment. That is a reactor overload. 17 seconds.
Very close on the front.
Oh!
Blue bot surrendered. No.
10 seconds.
4, 3. He's not going to make it in time. That's going to be critical. Oh,
The scram went
makes it
off.
With a second. Let's go.
Last second scram. What the fuck?
Asking for a friend, Rom?
Battleship taking a minor nap now, but going to wake back up again and throw hands.
He's keeping a hold on that echo point, and that's what matters. Beef's gonna drift out of the Bravo point again before capping it. Why? Why would you not stick the cap, dude? It's such a big deal. He's throwing on the brakes again. I think he's just having trouble controlling ship. Is what's happening here. Which one?
I think he wants to go to E. No, he's backing up.
No, he's staying on Bravo because capping that is the good choice. He just keeps mistiming his ship. There's also a little fight going on Alpha, but it looks like an EWR tug, which is technically armed, staring at a gun
which
sprinter with
is
no magazine.
Not, I don't believe.
And
This
has
is
no
frustrating.
magazine.
DOS
Does
is
not
super
have an
eyes.
arming missile in that sprinter.
Well, he also doesn't have a functioning CIC. He's got an aux steering, so it can't be armed
True.
ever again.
That's single beam turret.
ANS has the echo point. Really fumbling capturing that Bravo, which is unfortunate. They could have won the game off the back of this, but this is going to come down to the wire a lot closer than it really needed to. Both Rom and Herman are over here trying desperately to finish off this battleship. It just refuses to die or be disarmed. I think Puppy's been angling his bottom turret away from these ships.
Holding on pretty well now, but Rom's top bulk freighters coming over the rock here, starting to rain fire into the nose.
Oh.
Close quarters beam. That might finally put that one down. There we go.
See you later!
Oh, and Chibi coming in. The cavalry is here as the 450 fresh from the oven, just gonna start ripping through these very wounded bulk freighters.
And at the same time, they're going for Ds, so even if this fails, they'll still win on caps.
Be finally drifting back onto the B point, gonna actually get it here. That
Hopefully.
should spell defeat for the OSP, but damn if this wasn't close.
This is honestly one of the best games I've seen in many months.
Yes,
Please tell me you recorded this.
obviously. If I was not recording, I would be napping instead of casting. And
Are
much
you
too
sure
lazy.
you're not asleep?
That's a very good question. With all the fumbling I've been doing over my words, it feels like it sometimes. Okay, A&S barely pulling it out of the fire there. Right at the end, that was a really good match. Beef, 30,000
Chibi.
damage. Chibi with
the
fucking
53,000
50k!
damage.
He
All
did
right,
more than
that's
both of the beam battleships.
that's Dreadnought.
Here.
Oh
More
my
than both
goodness.
combined.
Living up to their names.
Indeed. MVP.
Turn out, even after all the show we saw today, 450 can still deliver when you give it the shots.
Echo, are you spectating?
What a
man.
game.
Oh my god. Oh,
All right, that's going in the Hall of Fame. We'll figure out what the correct one for that is here in a second. Bobby 16k on the beams. Blue Lot doing some work with the capping fleet. Actually, it's not terrible.
That was, yeah, I was struggling against Blue Bot for sure.
Yeah, until the beam duties came up. Ugh.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and
Capping fleet
and
was
then
the
the
2v1.
lasers.
Um,
It's crazy how
Control
that can decide a
points.
fight.
It's funny. I thought that was going to be so cursed, and Dog was going to come out and be like, "Blue Bot, what are you doing making a bunch of tugs that only have guns on them? You got to use missiles." But it
can
actually
you
works.
post the can you post the fleet or what was the tankiness of them? Like, is it in our drive?
God, I don't know. I made that a little while ago. Let me check.
I
I
will
could
say that is
not
what I said when I
believe
was going
I
through
will
the
post
fleets.
it.
But you proved me wrong. That worked pretty effectively. And then the beams
Mm.
came.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Given how the caps were early in the game, I'm surprised that came down so close.
I think
It
more
was a very
AMMs are
interesting
making better.
early standoff for both teams capped their natural at equal times, equal points.
Yeah.
3 Corvettes went to a point, 3 Corvettes died, and just kind of fed piecemeal.
Yeah,
after
that's
that.
crazy. I had tried to make like God's
At the D?
tankiest Corvette to cap under fire like that, but it just doesn't
Died
work.
immediately.
You almost got it. It
Yeah.
was
But
was
I
close.
miss
Strongest
every
prize.
single time I miss the point. So clearly doesn't work.
It's really
ECAP by
funny
the
to
end of
watch.
it had 5 dead Corvettes on it. I think ECAP had about the same.
Yeah.
It was really funny to watch God's tankiest Corvette die exactly as fast to
know.
Plasma 100
know.
mil
Well, it's
as
so
the
annoying.
empty ship bricks.
I swear to God, when I'm playing OSP, the ANS shit bricks just will not die. You know?
And I had two liners on you, and you still almost capped.
Oh yeah. But I've seen some shit. You know, like maybe there's a way to like intentionally proc the like the zombie thing. Like you kill all your crew somehow and then cap like that. But I don't fucking know.
It was Puppy's beam battleship that managed to scram with like a second to spare, right?
Yeah.
I called out in chat that was going to explode, and then it just didn't, and I felt stupid.
I said it. I was like, I don't know if I got that in time.
I'm pretty sure we had that down to the second. Like,
It was 3 seconds until it exploded.
On my screen, I saw it count down to 1 and then 0.
Interesting. So we
Now,
got
maybe there's
that's
some, like,
weird
leak.
desync stuff going on.
Yeah.
might be a little bit.
Alright, I'm gonna close this one out and then we can get to the next one. That was an extremely good game. That's easily the best game of testing matches we've had thus far in the past 2 weeks. That's one of the best games I've seen in the past month or month and a half. Excellent work out of both teams. Glad to see Bluebot doing a good job like I know he can instead of the fucking meme-ass builds. That's good. It's good. If you want to participate in these sorts of games, I have a Discord. That's where we're hanging out. That's where we're talking. There's like 20 people in this voice comm right now. Some of which are just permanently muted and listening in and watching and observing and having fun. Watching it live instead of watching it on the YouTube channel. If you want to do that, come down. If you want to participate in the conversation, come down. If you want to participate in the games, come down. As you've seen from this lobby, there are a lot of experienced players here. But if you've been watching the test games, you've noticed that there are also, well, one, some of those experienced players are kind of bad, which is fine. I'm certainly on that list. And two, some of the players aren't experienced at all. We got Scallard here. He's a blue, and he's been performing quite admirably all night. Peaches has also shown up for a couple matches, and they're blue. Same thing. Come on by. If you would like to support my efforts in managing the Coliseum Discord and in making these videos, just generally engaging in nebuligations, as it has been termed, I don't even remember who termed it that. I think it might have been Crow. I have a Patreon as well. Made one of those partially to help fund some new hardware and also just to create a little additional motivation for myself to get these done and out in a timely manner. But ultimately, this is a hobby. I've mentioned this before, and I want to be very upfront with it. I'm never going to paywall anything I think is good. I might at some point just start dumping up videos on the Patreon just of like games that get thrown away. I don't know, maybe not, because it's kind of lame watching garbage games. I don't think anybody wants to watch those. That's why I filter them. But yeah, I won't ever paywall anything. It's just a support option that you have. Not engaging in it isn't going to zone you out of anything of note or of worth. There are no benefits. You don't get any special permissions on the Discord either. It's pure support. Also never gonna advertise, like do real advertisements. I guess I'm sort of advertising for myself here at the end. But ads are lame. I don't like them. I don't want to see them. And I'm not gonna force them onto you, dear viewer. So I've got these other options instead. Man, that was a good game. Real good game. I hope you enjoyed it. I most certainly did, and I think everybody in the call did too. There's a lot of people here. As has already been stated. I'll see you in the battle space, dear viewer. Good night.